Okay, cool. We'll get it over to the state from coach. Questions?
I just really like the way our team responded after we gave up the 4-run lead. You know, we had a 4-0 lead, then we had a 3-run lead, and cruising along pretty good there for about 30 minutes, and then they put together a really good inning. Started with a walk, and Molina was struggling with his control with the fastball, and getting behind hitters, and they made him pay a little bit. So when they scored 4 and we came back and scored 6. I think we'd scored a couple, and then got some really big hits there. And I don't know. It was just it was good to see our team respond like that, because we hadn't had too much adversity where we blown a lead or made some mistakes that have cost us. And it's like I told them after the game. I said, it's not going to be easy every game. You're going to have to fight and come from behind. And I like the way that we didn't panic. We just said, hey, let's find a way to get something going here. And they did it. And it was great that, Gage came in, settled in a little bit, throwing a lot of strikes, walk anybody, and, just gave us a chance to build that lead and then finish it off. And it was really neat that we had an opportunity to bring Dylan Carter in. A lot of his family's here. They knew that he was going to be available to pitch this weekend. And, it's a guy that I don't know if I've ever seen anybody rehab as hard as he has. And everything worked out. He's throwing the ball. Every bit as hard as he did last year, maybe even a little bit harder. And, he'll end up being a big part of our bullpen if he can continue to build off of what we've seen over the last couple of weeks when he's been throwing to live hitters and then now in a game. And just wanted him to get that under his belt and all that emotion. And now, get him ready to maybe come in a leverage type situation. But it was a good weekend for us. Obviously, won them all. Played fairly well, pitched fairly well, but not great. But we got some pitchers that know how to get out of jams, and they held them down this weekend.
You had 13 2-out runs today. You had 23 for the weekend. What was the key?
Just a lot of clutch hits, and I made that comment last night. I didn't want to talk to the team too long after the games yesterday because we've been here for 10 plus hours, so just kind of talked real quick. I knew they were going to talk with their position coaches, and we needed to get out of here and get ready for today. But that's what I mentioned yesterday, that we got a lot of big hits, and then today, same thing. That we just I don't know, concentration level. You got to be good, a little bit lucky, but we got big hits with 2 outs and kept adding to leads. And started in game 1 yesterday with a couple of singles that scored the first 2 runs, I think, of the game for us, and what looked like was going to be a pitcher's duel, and that's what it ended up being. So, you know how that goes. It kind of comes and goes, but it's really good to see it because, we hadn't had that a whole lot this year. We'd won some games, but you think about that 14-inning game against Oklahoma State, we had runner after runner after runner on base, and we could not buy a hit. And, so sometimes it evens up a little bit.
Is Russell going to force you to continue playing as he hits like this?
Yeah, Ross is a tough out. He just brings a lot to the table. He's going to get his time, that's for sure. And whether we platoon there or however we handle it, I think I know what Ross can do, and I was really good to see Wilmsmeyer have a good day because he's, like I said, he's our best defender in center. We've been struggling at the plate a little bit. And I think when he got that 2-strike, 2-out hit that gave us the lead, I think that was really big for his confidence. And then obviously we scored more after that. And then he had a good day. He had a good day for us.
Yeah, this was kind of the first time all season where you've stacked 2 consecutive offensive performances. How good was that to see? I know you didn't talk to the guys much, but has that been maybe a challenge for them to kind of string together this kind of offense?
Yeah, we talked Thursday at practice for a little while with the whole team. A lot of times the team split up the pitchers all together. The position players are doing their thing, and then we come and do defense together. We did that on Thursday, and that gave me an opportunity to talk to the team just about kind of what I'd seen first few weeks. And, we needed to pick up a few things, maybe play with a little more emotion. We don't play every day. We're not like big leaguers yet, these guys. And so they need to, you got to show up, you got to get after it. And I think we did a great job of really being into every game, mentally. I think the team grew a little bit as a team this weekend, a little more emotion, and it was fun. It was fun in the dugout with these guys.
One guy, I mean, Kendall has just been so consistent, right? The power maybe is still waiting to really bust out. But what have you seen from him in the middle of the lineup? I mean, he's hitting 360. It seems like he's kind of going a little under the radar right now with his production.
Well, he just, every day he gives you something. It seems like whether, he drives in a run with a sac fly or maybe takes a couple of walks. He doesn't go out of the zone too much. He knows there's a guy behind him, and that's what we want our guys to do. Don't try to do too much if you're not getting a pitch to hit, or if take your walk or whatever. And I think that's why Kendall's been maybe a little, like you said, under the radar. But he's hitting he's hitting 350 or whatever, and we know that he's a guy that we got to have in the middle of the order. We felt like when we got Stovall back, we could push Kendall down a little bit, where maybe he would get more opportunities to drive in runs, because I'm sure if you look at his opportunities to drive in runs, he's pretty good at it. And he was last year. So it's good to see him, get a couple hits tonight. It's good to see him hit that ball a long way last night to end that game and continue to gain a lot of confidence.
Kind of going off that, I think it was Monday. You said Diggs and McLaughlin had good numbers, but they weren't really hitting the ball the way that you knew they were capable of. Did you feel like these last 2 days are more of what you expected from those? Hit a lot of balls hard.
Yeah. I mean, even McLaughlin, Aloy. I mean, these guys, they popped the ball pretty good. McLaughlin lined out to left twice hard last night, and Aloy popped 2 or 3 balls deep to left, or the left fielder's playing almost on the warning track, and off the bat you're thinking it's going to go over somebody's head, but they're already standing back there, and it's good to see him, to do that, take a couple walks. We feel like we have a pretty good lineup, and we just got to get some guys rolling a little bit. And I felt like this weekend, I mean, the last 24 hours, really, it was a really good start. Now, on Tuesday, we're going to play Oral Roberts, and this is a team that competed in the College World Series last year, so they know how to win and fight you a little bit. And, we'll hopefully we can keep it up on Tuesday and get ready for our SEC play this next weekend.
With Stovall coming back up, I would assume he would move back to second base soon, and Holt hasn't been playing a ton. Is a little bit of that with just what you have with Peyton Holt, and so you wanted to get some of these other guys
A little
look
bit,
to see what,
yeah. And Peyton, I mean, got 2 or 3 hits yesterday, and then didn't play today, and worked hard pregame and knew he wasn't playing, so I appreciate that. And Peyton will move back over to second shortly, and he's trying to get Sousa some more bats. And I mean, he's a guy that I think he's a real threat at the plate, especially against right-handed pitching. And he showed me something today. He struck out twice in 1 inning, and he left runners out there. And his next 2 at bats, he wasn't up there chasing hits and going out of the zone. And I'm pretty sure he walked the next 2 at bats. And I really like that. It just shows that a little maturity there at the plate. So it's something that he can build off of. But he's swung the bat well. I want to continue to get him in the lineup, and we're going to just try to get the guys in the lineup that could swing the bat, athletic. And he's one of those guys. I mean, he can steal a base or score from first on a double, and and slow you down out there. And I mean, we'll find him a spot if he hits.
Speaking of that, you had, I believe, 4 lefties in the top 5 of the lineup, and they had a lefty on the mound. Did you like that matchup, or was it just matchup dependent?
Yeah, so we look at matchup stuff all the time. He's only faced 8 left-handed hitters all spring. I think it was mostly against Texas A&M, and they were 4 for 8 on him, and the right-handed hitters were only hitting about 150 against him. So I just thought, I'm going to play these guys. Let's try to get him out of the game, and let's see if those splits are, correct. But I thought our lefties did a pretty good job against him. It took a little bit, but then they got on him. They got the pitch count up and got him out of the game. So I wanted to hit the lefties against lefties, because left-handed hitters kind of got to, especially the young ones, they got to kind of show you that they can hit lefties.
So you guys had 26 men reach base. 10 of them which were walks, and I remember you were talking about how maturity at the plate. Just tell me about how the discipline at the plate has increased for the guys, because I remember you said a couple weeks ago that you guys are walking more than striking out.
Yeah, we've done a really good job of staying in the zone. This team early in the season may be better than most that we've had here. Guys are more patient, not chasing what, so we call it chasing hits when you're struggling, because we've had some good players that aren't hitting right now. And they're not going out of the zone right now. They just got to let it happen a little bit. So you think about today's game, yeah, we got our hits, but they set up the big innings for us with walks. And our guys did that, let the next guy get the job done, get hit by a pitch, and advance runners make contact, drive in a run. I mean, Lovich got behind that last at bat and hit it off the end of the bat. Guy threw him 5 changeups in a row. He got an RBI. I mean, I know the game was pretty much in hand, but still, that's what you do. You got to force them to get you out by throwing it over the plate. I think we've done a great job with it.
It's just, do you sense an emotional boost with Stovall back in the lineup, just with the entire team?
Well, yeah, I would say yes. You got an older guy that was hurt last year after having a good freshman year, played on a team, went to the World Series, played a position that he didn't ever play before. He was our first baseman as a freshman on a team that was really good, and came back, had a great fall his sophomore year, and you're thinking, wow, this guy can really play second. And then, shoulder's bugging him a little bit, tries to play, and, then he's done. He has surgery, rehab super hard, got a lot stronger. You can see the ball jumping off his bat better than ever, and swings really pretty, got a pretty swing. And, the defensive thing for me is that, brings a lot more experience in the middle, turning double plays, everything, knowing where to be. I would say it's a big boost for our team mentally and physically on the field. I mean, it's a veteran guy that can swing the bat, that can play defense, and it makes our lineup longer and better.
So before Peyton Stovall played this week and before Dylan Carter came back, you spoke confidently about what you had seen from them in the live settings. So you describe for us maybe what that looks like and what they had done before
Yeah.
we saw them in a game.
Well, Dylan, the last few weeks has thrown to live hitters on like Thursdays, inside, maybe one outside, maybe 3 times. So we're kind of like, wow, that's good enough to go. Is he good? And once he got released to go, he said, I'm ready to go. Well, let's, what I see him throw is kind of what you saw today, 92, 94 with the fastball, 83, 84 slider. I don't think he threw a slider this hard before. And I could probably count on one hand how many 94-mile-an-hour fastballs he threw last year. He's mostly 92, 93, maybe 90. Who knows when he was slowly getting hurt and when it was taken away from that. And then incredible rehab all summer here in fall, and wanted to get back this year, and he did it. And then Stovall, I mean, pretty much has had live at bats on Thursday, and I think he got 4 or 5 at bats. And I know 3 times, we have our track band set up in there, and he crushed it. He probably had 2 doubles and a homer, and the homer was Oppo. I think it went like 380. And the guys that were throwing good. I mean, they were throwing the ball 92, 93, one left, one right. And then one that wasn't throwing quite so hard, just kind of breaking ball changeup guy. And, we're like, well, he's ready to play. And so it was totally up to him on his foot. And the doctor said, hey, you can DH him. And then really after yesterday, they told me I probably could have played him in the field today, but I don't think he was quite ready to play in the field today. He's still limping around a little bit. We're hoping he can play in the field on Tuesday.
How do you assess how Mason pitched today?
I would say Mason did not command his fastball at all. I mean, everything was up, but he's hard to hit when he's up, but he's got to be in the zone. But he had a lot of bad misses, and those are the ones when you say a bad miss, the hitter's really not going to swing at it. You think about the first hitter of the game, check swing, foul ball, and then a check swing popped it up. I don't know if that was first or second hitter, but There was you know, just, he was a like, it was like he was walking a tightrope there. It was just enough strikes. And he came out in the third and popped some strikes early, and we're thinking, wow, okay, he's kind of got it together. But he just didn't have the command he normally has. But, you know, he did a good job of fighting him. Gave us 4 innings. But they finally got a couple big hits on him on changeups that he left up.
And then with Gage, it didn't go well for him. You know, they're the first few hitters, but he ends up throwing somewhere around 70-something% of his pitches for strikes.
Yeah, they went out of the zone a lot. If you notice, they chased it because his fastball's got carry on. It looks good out of the hand. Where they were just guessing and they were just going all out. And yeah, I mean, he's hard to hit. And I don't know. You know, I know that next week I feel like he'll be a lot better.
Michael, it's down.
Okay.